And here we have natural law based on connection to each other, to the land, to connecting all the sources of life that is, and that we are a part of that. And when you start looking at human law, this is where the story of separation is actually put into the courts, into the system. This is part of the colonized view of how we are different. And so I started to look, I'm from the United States, and I started to look also at definitions of law, in law textbooks, in other definitions of law. And I found that there is no mention, no reference to justice in the definition of law in the United States and probably many other places. And at this point, I thought maybe law school wasn't in my future, which has set me on another journey, which is learning so much more from indigenous people and people who live close to the land. And this transformation of rights of nature, not just in law, but these tribunals, these laws, this is where victories can be found for our future. Are we there yet? No, we are on this journey together. This movement is indigenous-led globally, and there's a reason for that. Because this is the embodiment of putting into place natural law. How do we reconnect ourselves with the way that we are meant to live as part of the earth community, not as owners of it. And these rights of nature tribunals and these laws have done some really critical and valuable things. This is not theater. This is not performance. This work and these tribunals have allowed us to redefine courts, real courts and judgments toward natural law, toward the recognition of rights as nature as a subject of law. It's allowed us to confront unjust human law, including the idea that nature is property. It has allowed us to redefine what is expertise in these courts, away from not necessarily just what is science, but who are the experts? The people with the experience of living on the land, indigenous people, the cosmology of being part of the living system. This is a huge transformation. This gives rise to who can speak for nature, who is nature's voice, where is the legitimacy for speaking on behalf of nature. And indigenous people and land defenders time and time again have shown us exactly what that expertise looks like after a millennia of being part of it. This idea of rights of nature reconnects us with the idea of responsibility. When we talk about rights of nature and upholding the rights of nature, that puts a responsibility on humans to uphold this very different system. Rights of nature rejects the killing machine that is the carbon market. This idea of property and ownership and commodification of nature, colonization, it is absolutely stands in stark contrast to that. And why we are here in places like this is to absolutely demonstrate the power of this against the power of the system that is just over here at the United Nations, FCCC, where they are talking about what nature does for humans, and that's the only way we can value and protect nature. Rights of nature rejects that and absolutely stands in stark contrast to that. It supports and legitimizes the campaigns of indigenous people, frontline communities, and people everywhere on the ground, and gives them a place for their voices to be heard, to be recognized, and to be valued. If we're going to escape the fate of where we, as our human failings have taken us, we have a lot of work to do, but I guarantee you, in the decolonization of the world, and in a movement towards the world that can be, rights of nature has a huge and important role to play, and we're in it, and we're in it to win it. And this is part of the just transition that needs to happen. Rights of nature is part of that. I've been a part of these tribunals for many, well, since the beginning, right? Okay. In one way or another. And I want to say, there has yet to be a tribunal that has not made me cry, left me in tears, but also made me feel the power of what's possible. And I encourage all of you over on the walls here to review the judgments, to really validate the work of these tribunals and the work and the life experience of the land defenders that have shared their life and their struggles with these tribunals. And so yes, I encourage you to go visit those judgments and cases. If you want to read some other successes for the rights of nature, my organization, Movement Rights, does have a little report. I'd be happy to share with you. We only have it in English right now. We're working on Spanish. But this movement is happening. These victories are real. This work is moving forward, and I am proud to be a part of it and to continue learning from the land defenders and water protectors that lead us. Thank you.